So I used to own this food truck once upon a time, okay? So this food truck was one giant emergency. In one summer, we had 4 of the 6 tires blow. We had a radiator go out on the Route 30 bridge. We had multiple fires on it. Essentially, I actually once made a list. There was 26 different things that happened to this truck within 18 months that made it not able to get to an event. And you know what? For those 18 months, we always got to the event. This story's not about that food truck, though. So it was about 2 years ago. It was a downtown York event, well, kind of outside downtown, but it was at a popular baseball stadium. It was their first year of this event. They served things on skewers and beer tastings. Shh. We're not going to name names tonight. So the organizer of this event came to me and one of my fellow business owners and asked our advice about 3 months before the event. We pretty much told him that his whole structure was awful. It wasn't going to work. Guess what? He ignored everything we said. So I did sign my food truck up for it. My food truck was actually double booked that day, so it was in like Wisconsin or something, doing something else. And there was probably some emergency that happened there, but this is about my personal emergency that day. So we get this event. So our job was to show up with 100 skewers because there was going to be 200 people there, each who could have 7 skewers, and there were 7 trucks. So simple math states that there wasn't enough skewers at this event. So we get through about an hour and a half of this event, everybody's out of food. So about an hour later, the event organizer comes over to me and says, you know, what went wrong? I'm like, you didn't fucking listen to me. And I have never opened up on somebody in my life like I did there, because I helped organize multiple food truck events. I was a food truck owner for years. I knew how this stuff worked. He didn't listen. So we get all wrapped up. I get back to my restaurant. We're unloading. My kitchen manager at the time was in the back porch weeping. Apparently the cops were on the way to pick her up to take her back to prison because she had DUIs and stuff like that. So this was not a good day. It was also like 100 degrees, and I'd been on a food truck all day. So I go home that night, and I just have a restless sleep. I just don't feel well. I'm tossing and turning. I just kind of feel off. Around 6 a.m., I wake up. You know, I have a weird arm pain. You know, I'm kind of nauseous, kind of dizzy. I wake my wife up. I'm like, I don't really feel very well. I think maybe I should go to the doctor. For me, that's a big deal for me to mention the doctor because I don't go to the doctor ever. So, I start Googling, heart attack, what are those symptoms? And so it lists off, discomfort in your left arm, tooth pain, yep, got that. Pretty much everything on this list I have except vomiting. I read it off, read it to my wife. Last thing's vomiting. I'm like, I haven't vomited yet, so I'm probably cool, right? And then I vomit. So I'm like, yeah, I'm having a heart attack. I'm 33, and I'm having a heart attack. I mean, I don't eat well. I don't sleep. I smoke too many cigarettes. I drink too much. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that I'm having a heart attack. So I call my dad, who lives 3 minutes away. I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling so great. Could you, give me a ride to the ER? No big deal. So he picks me up. He takes his good old time getting there. So we're on our way into Lancaster City to go to LGH. And all I remember is I don't have my seatbelt on. I'm just sitting in the seat with my head between my legs. I just see these water bottles rolling around, and I just feel awful. He pats my back. He's like, "You'll be okay." I'm like, "You think?" So we get to the hospital. They check me in real quick. I just remember I sit on the hospital bed. They put the gown on me and stuff. They start drawing blood and doing these tests. And the moment I knew that there was something really wrong is when they took my dad outside the room and start whispering, and I hear the words heart cath. So they come back in, they prep me. Within a 6-hour span, I saw my heart 4 different ways. I had a heart cath, I had an MRI, EKG. Apparently, I had some type of major heart event. They didn't know what it was. So after 3 days in the hospital, they finally diagnosed me with myocardiology, which is essentially just a virus attacks your heart and inflames. So I didn't have a heart attack. I had a heart event. I still remember, so it was a Sunday, so like the real doctors weren't there. It was just like the nurse practitioners. But on Tuesday, I finally sat down with like the real heart doctor, and I asked him like, hey, you know, this is my life. I have all these businesses, all these things I do. I'm under a lot of stress all the time. Was this caused by stress? He said, no. So I started another business.